When I was growing up in the early 2000s, around the time I was 3 or 4 years old, I became interested in 2 video game consoles that my older sister owned. Those systems being the SNES and the N64. And for the N64 she had Donkey Kong 64. I turned that game on for the first time and the rest is history. To this day, this is one of my favorite games that I have ever played. So I decided I wanted to make a video on it, and what a better way to start than an iceberg video. Yes, an iceberg video. You either love them or you hate them, and I personally love them. So when I found this DK64 Iceberg by NeneFun4534, I thought I would give it a shot. So here is the DK64 Iceberg. Krazy Kong Klamour. Krazy Kong Klamour is one of the many mini-games found inside of Donkey Kong 64 that give you gold and bananas, which are the things that you need to collect to go to the next various levels. Now when this game came out originally on the N64, there were many hardware constraints that this game pushed the limits of. The game even had to be pre-packaged with a memory upgrade, and still there was a good bit of input lag in certain areas of the game. This actually gave an advantage to the player in harder levels of certain mini-games, such as this one. When it was ported to the Wii U Virtual Shop, the input lag was greatly reduced, making this minigame almost impossible to complete. Intro Story Glitch. Intro Story Glitch is a fault within the game design when you replay the intro cutscene from the extras in the main menu. This is a very valuable tool within the DK64 speedrunning community, and it is way too complex for me to understand, but if you would want to see how it works, check out this video by Glorious Liar, link will be in the description. Banjo-Kazooie Shower in DK's Treehouse. Banjo-Kazooie was another title for the N64 developed by Rareware, it being released in June 29, 1998, and DK64 being released over a year later on November 22, 1999. These two games had a few different crossovers planned for them, some we'll get into later, but in the beta version of Donkey Kong 64, inside DK's Treehouse there was a planned shower with a poster of Banjo and Kazooie on it. Sadly, it was cut before the final release of the game. DK64 has too many collectibles. DK64 at the time was praised for the sheer amount of collectibles it had, and that's what kind of drew me in as a kid. But when you take a step back and look at the sheer amount of them, you can see why people criticize the game for it now. There are over 3,800 collectible items in the game. This includes 201 gold bananas, 3,500 colored bananas, 40 banana medals, 20 banana fairies, 40 blueprints, 8 boss keys, 10 battle crowns, 1 Nintendo coin, and 1 Rareware coin. This causes you to have to do a bunch of backtracking if you want to 100% the game, which I will admit now, is kind of frustrating. Fungi Forest was for Banjo-Kazooie. So, just like the entry says, the level Fungi Forest was going to originally be for the game Banjo-Kazooie. However, it was scrapped from the game before the final release. Then, during the development cycle of Donkey Kong 64, the company Rareware, who also developed Banjo-Kazooie, decided to recycle the level into Donkey Kong 64. Orange Light Clips / No Walls Glitch. This entry is referring to another speedrun strat that takes advantage of the input lag from the hardware limits of the N64. By throwing grenades in first person and having the camera position to load the max amount of textures that you can, causes more lag in the game. This lag can allow you to clip through walls and slopes, allowing you to go out of bounds and reach new places early like the Angry Aztec lobby. The No Walls glitch works by positioning the Kong and the camera in a certain way that allows the walls to become unclipped, allowing you to pass through them. For a more in-depth explanation, once again, I'm going to have to recommend this video by Glorious Liar, which is also in the description. The Test Room. This is referring to the ability to access a testing room that was never removed within the game. By collecting 40 blueprints and pushing A and B simultaneously on the bonus game menu in Snide's headquarters, you can access the test room, which just consists of a tiled floor, a couple of pillars, a model of Donkey Kong that doesn't move or react to anything. But there is a banana balloon in there for Donkey Kong. That one shot does give you the bananas. Moonkick. Moonkick is another glitch made possible by abusing the amount of lag you can generate within this game. By kicking off a slope and doing an aerial attack and then spamming B until you kick, Donkey Kong can fly up into the air, allowing him to access places early, very similar to the orange grenade glitch. If you want to see how this glitch is put into action, or how to perform this glitch, please check out the video that is on screen right now by Seawill HD. Once again, link is in the description. Beaver Brother Nightmare. So this is referring to another one of the minigames found within Donkey Kong 64, and it's just like notoriously hard and frustrating. Like, you can't explain how frustrating this minigame is, and it's just one of the ones where if you play it or if you've played it, you know how annoying this one is. Unwinnable Mechanical Fish Banana. So this one's referring to a mission in Donkey Kong 64 in the level Gloomy Galleon, where you have to use Diddy Kong and shoot targets inside of a giant robot fish. So just like normal Donkey Kong stuff, I guess. This is where the lag of the N64 works against you, and some people have a difficult time with this Golden Banana because of this. And I never really had a big issue with this level, but I can see how it can be frustrating for some people. But if you want to see a great video on why this level is so frustrating, check out this video by Cybershell. Link in the description. The DK rap. I honestly couldn't find anything on this. The developers did say eventually that it sounded like, and I quote, vomit, and it comes to mind as one of the most terrible moments they've ever done. However, I don't mind how awful it is. Kind of fits the strangeness of the game, especially for a game that came out in the late 90s.
And then there's Chunky. He's dead. DK. Chunky's dead. DK.
The Jungles. Ice Key / Stop and Swap. Originally, the games Banjo-Kazooie and its sequel Banjo-Tooie were going to have a feature where you would collect an item in Banjo-Kazooie and then unplug Banjo-Kazooie's cartridge and swap to Banjo-Tooie, and it would unlock a special item in Banjo-Tooie. This mechanic was also thought to be implemented into Donkey Kong 64. Due to hardware limitations, they decided to scrap this concept altogether for all 3 games. Green Sir Dominoes. Another issue with the Wii U emulation of the game. Just go figure. Sometimes the Sir Domino enemies inside the Frantic Factory level would have the texture change from their regular black to a green texture. I couldn't find any screenshots of this while recording this, but if I did find any, I'll put some here. But with how bad the emulation for the game is on the Wii U, it wouldn't surprise me one bit. Invisible Rock Glitch. Once again, a glitch within the game. While playing Chunky, you can pick up a boulder and release it at a certain time, and you can hold a boulder that is invisible. This has been known to crash the US version of the game sometimes. There's no real reason to do this, it doesn't really have any useful abilities, but hey, it's a glitch, so it's still cool. Diddy's 101st Banana. In each level of Donkey Kong 64, all 5 of the Kongs get their own colored bananas to collect. Donkeys, Diddies, Linkies, Tinies, and Chunkies. Each level has 100 bananas for each Kong. However, in Jungle Jades, inside the mine, under the floor, you can clip out of bounds and find an extra red banana for Diddy. Expansion Pack was bundled to fix a bug. Like what was mentioned in the first entry, for a long time the belief was that the memory expansion for the N64 was included because the game took too much memory and would cause a crash. In 2019, Chris Merlo, one of the game's programmers, confirmed it in a recent director's commentary video for Conker's Bad Fur Day, that the expansion pack was needed in order to prevent a game-breaking glitch from occurring. He explains that the glitch would cause the game to randomly crash, but only when configured to work using the N64 standard 4MB memory setup. As Rare was unable to identify the cause of this crash, it was eventually forced to release the game with the expansion pack bundled in for free. Fake Key Glitch. This is referring to a glitch that occurs sometimes when you collect the final key in the last level, Hideout Helm. It will not register that you collect the final key sometimes. This does not occur randomly according to certain websites, and there are specific strats you can use to avoid this from happening. Like if you keep the window and the door on screen for the room with the key in it while you walk toward the key, you'll be fine. Speedrunning in this game requires this key, so if this glitch occurs, it can definitely kill a run. 4th Melon Upgrade. Inside the game, the health indicators are watermelons, and when you take damage, you lose slices of these watermelons, and you can get more watermelons or health when you go to Candy Kong, where she sells you instruments and melons. Health melons. That's it, I swear. And apparently there's a scrap 4th melon upgrade to give you extra health that did not make it into the game by release day. Fungi Forest Rainbow Coin. And we're back to the scrap Banjo-Kazooie level Fungi Forest. In this game, there are dirt patches that hold power-up coins that help the Kongs get stronger on their journey. And inside Fungi Forest, there are specific parts of the level that have tall grass. And for years, this coin went undiscovered, and until 2017, when hackers discovered the position of the power-up hiding in the tall grass, which, if you can locate it, is still accessible in the base game. Real weapons in Donkey Kong 64. Originally, in the game, the fun fruit and feather weapons that the Kongs use were going to be actual guns. This was scrapped for a more family-friendly approach to the weapons and to the Donkey Kong brand. And also, I don't think it looks right with DK holding an actual, real double-barrel shotgun. Room underneath DK Island. To save space on the limited N64 carts, Rareware used some of the empty space inside the Donkey Kong Island head and hid one of the rooms from the intro cutscene inside of it. By using a glitch by going out of bounds, you can access this room and look around, which is pretty cool to see. Entering lobbies early. Within this game there are a variety of levels that you can access early by using glitches. Orange grenade clipping, moon kicks, and other techniques you can use by entering areas early. Hell, even the underwater level, you can swim right past the entrance gate. It's not a broken game at all. Phase glitches, aka swimming through walls. Just like I said a second ago, you can swim straight through certain walls in this game, and you can use it to access hidden content or certain lobbies early. So yeah, again, not a broken game at all. The 5-door model. This is referring to two parts in the game, once in the Ice Castle and once in Angry Aztec, where there's areas where all 5 Kongs have to do a section of it to fully complete it. And if you love backtracking and are trying to 100% the game, these sections are actually a lot of fun. But if not, you hate these levels just trying to progress to beat the game. The scroll. This is talking about an item that was apparently mentioned in the instruction booklet that was never implemented back into the game, but also wasn't removed from the booklet for some reason. So it's become kind of elusive, and people are wondering if it's still in the game somewhere.
Hey DK, get a load of what I just figured out. What is it, Diddy? Get a load of this. Funky Kong's funky, Lanky Kong's lanky, Chunky Kong's chunky, and Cranky Kong's cranky. Hey, you're right. That is pretty funny, Diddy. I know. Did you tell Dixie? I did. What'd she say? Something about driving the fence out of Chickamauga. Huh?
The Icy Caves. Jack in the Box. This entry is talking about the development of the main boss in Frantic Factory, Mad Jack. This boss originally was going to be a mini-boss in the game named Junk in the Box. A few other facts that were pulled from Super Mario WIKI include Mad Jack's gibberish ranting voice is taken from stock tracks recorded by the late Clarence Nash, the original voice of Donald Duck. The high-pitched mechanical laughter heard in his boss battle theme is also taken from Clarence Nash's stock recordings. And, later in development, the toy monster became the new mini-boss for this world, while Mad Jack became the main boss. Intro Story Prison. This is referring back to the intro cinematic of the game. The prison shown within the intro cutscene can be accessed in the final level, Hideout Helm. The prison cells from the intro story where the Kongs are depicted being captured are stored out of bounds in the main level, Hideout Helm, some ways away from Diddy's metal chamber. This is actually only one cell that they reuse for every Kong in the sequence to save space. Using game chart codes, it is possible to still warp straight here upon entering the level. I found most of this information on tcrf.net/DonkeyKong64, and you'll be hearing a lot of that website. Gloomy Galleon, Hidden Chunky Coins. This entry talks about more hidden content found by clipping out of bounds in DK64, this time in the level Gloomy Galleon. Chunky can clip outside of the bounds of the map and find more hidden collectibles. This is very similar to Diddy's 101st banana. The Disappearing Rareware Banana. Once again found on the website tcr.net, this is achieved by hacking or glitching your way to Fairy Island's Rareware Banana without having opened the door first. This will reveal that you still can't access this banana. It vanishes as you approach it and reappears once you're a certain distance away. The intro story glitch can be used to partially circumvent this. By triggering the door opening cutscene independent of the fairy requirement, you can access this golden banana. Change Kong Anywhere hack / practice ROM. DK64 speedrunning community is a great community, and to make it easier to perfect glitches in certain parts of the world, people have developed a practice ROM to make it easier to go to specific places. On the subreddit r/Donkey Kong, it says a patch was released for a practice ROM that allows the instant swapping of Kongs in DK64 using the D-pad. The instructions on this subreddit say that emulators are not recommended, but it'll play fine on M64 Plus. No one can guarantee there won't be problems later though. Unused bonus games. DK64 is full of mini-games you can complete, but there are also a ton of them that were cut from the game. Most of these are just variations on the ones that are still in the game. It is fun though to see and try the new ones out, but you have to use hacks to access them. King K. Rool only hid 161 gold bananas. So, even though you can collect 201 golden bananas, King K. Rool did not hide all of them actually. Snide actually has 40 of the bananas himself, and he will give you one banana for each blueprint that you bring him. Banana duping. According to the DK64 fandom wiki, it is possible to collect more than 201 gold bananas in the game. There are many ways that you can dupe bananas, but check out this video from Ballaam to see how this works more in depth. Again, link in the description. Leaked demo cartridge ROM. This is referring to a ROM hack created once again by Ballaam. This hack replicates the demo cart that was never fully released. However, in 2007, the ROM for the demo did leak. It apparently contained 3 scenarios based off the early build for the game that was later made into the ROM. Main menu mode. Once again, this involves the intro story glitch. It is possible to play the story in MMM, which is using main menu moves. This trick allows you to obtain upgrades from all the Kongs without ever having to visit Cranky, Funky, or Candy. There are pros and cons to doing this, however. You don't need to free any Kongs. Jungle Japes and Angry Aztec can be skipped completely. You don't need the fairy camera or coins. You don't need to enter the crystal caves to unlock monkey ports. And you can skip the water barrel and the vine barrel. However, drawbacks include, it takes more than 5 minutes to perform this trick and leave the training grounds. After the trick, you will be unable to pause or save the game. Therefore, you can escape areas like Angry Aztec Lobby through the pause menu or a save warp. And any areas which would result in a soft lock has to be escaped via a clip out of bounds to escape said soft lock. Rambi swimming. I honestly couldn't find much on this entry, but the iceberg itself says that there are animations that exist that go unused for Rambi for him swimming, but due to him not being able to reach water without having to glitch the game, they never were implemented. Red Claptrap. Red Claptrap is a scrapped enemy from the game that was going to drop ammo crates after being killed. They look just like the normal Claptraps, but were textured red. I wish they would have left this in the game, however.
Monkey Kong? Let me see that. I should have known, you alphabet challenged ape. Monkey, not donkey. This letter isn't for you.
Hey, I don't have to leave Congo Bongo. Isn't that great news?
Then we made this whole big bash for nothing?
Then why did I pay for this dinner?
Then why I brush my teeth?
Then why did I use up my best material on this
Because you like me.
The Shipwreck. Simian Slam Oddities. Once again, this information is from ccrf.net. There are several Simian Slam switches, which are the green switches with the Kong's face on them, that exhibit strange properties when you access them in a state when you're not meant to encounter them yet. The first of these can be observed normally, being the first switch in Jungle Japes, required to progress. There is no need to slam on it, since it can be activated simply by landing on top of it. By accessing levels early, you can see more of these strange switches. While not technically a Simian Slam switch, the switches in the Ice Tomato puzzle in Crystal Caves behave strangely if Donkey Kong enters the area with a regular Simian Slam. The switches won't flip for a majority of the time when slammed upon, something not seen anywhere else in the game. This behavior can only be seen with Donkey Kong using a regular Simian Slam, since all other types of slams work with every other Kong. The Super Simian Slam switch during the chunky phase of the final boss can be pressed with a regular Simian Slam, despite the color. The DK switches in Jungle Jape's mine area can actually be hit by any Kong. In addition, there is one sole green Simian Slam switch in the Fungi Forest level, and at the point where you'd be expected to already have Super Simian Slam first. However, since the box covering up can only be broken with a Super Simian Slam, the switch type ends up being completely useless. Beetle Race Out of Bounds Banana. There's a golden banana far out of bounds in the Beetle slide. Getting to it is incredibly tough without the use of hacking. Strangely enough, it is the only golden banana in the game to have a slight tilt. Coin Counter Glitch. With cheats enabled, you can bug the coin counter to go past what it is set to, which is 999, which for some reason convert it to 231. Diddy's Barn Back Entrance. I don't like the name of this entry at all. But anyway, Diddy's Night Barn is a part of the level Fungi Forest again, and it has an entrance that is unused that is opposite to the way you actually enter. You can reach this by moonkicking off a nearby mushroom as Donkey Kong, but there is no loading zone for it. There might have been plans for another room inside the barn, or just a different way to leave after collecting Diddy's golden banana with inside it. Fungi Forest Closed Door. From TCRF once again. On the level Fungi Forest, there are 3 wooden shutters. One opens to reveal a banana fairy, while the other contains a chunky pad, which is used to access a battle arena. The third one, however, remains closed. There is a small area inside that shows there may have been something for this door at one point, but despite numerous fan theories to the contrary, there is no way to open it. Life Balloons. Originally, the DK64 health system was going to look very similar to the Mario 64 one, but it was later changed to the melons that they stuck with. This was to give a different kind of vibe that Donkey Kong 64 stuck with, including the weapons that shot fruit and the grenades that were fruit, and how you had to collect a bunch of bananas that were fruit. So I guess it just was right that they used fruit to indicate the health as well. 5th Boss Key in Angry Aztec. From the video on screen by Xcord, if you take damage at the same time as Dogadon, and you will get the 5th key, no matter which Kong you're playing as, and no matter if you're in Angry Aztec or the forest. The easiest way to do this is put a TNT barrel where Dogon will land next, and then jump into him just before he lands. This doesn't always work, as sometimes the key will not spawn. Tag Barrel Storage. Now this one's way over my head, so I'm sorry if I get anything wrong, and there will be links in the description that will make a lot more sense than I'm about to, but here we go. The Tag Barrel is an object in Donkey Kong 64 you go into to switch out the Kong you want to play as. Normally when the Kong enters this Tag Barrel, the Kong enters a state that is frozen, where no actions can be performed until the player exits the Tag Barrel. However, entering certain states immediately before entering the Tag Barrel overrides this, causing the player to have control over the Kong and Tag Barrel at the same time. Various states can cause Tag Barrel storage to occur, such as taking damage, splashing into water or diving, falling from a great height, uncrouching, and others. All of this information came from the Super Mario Wiki. Here's the link in the description. Tiny Kong picking up barrels. In the game, only the 4 male Kongs can pick up barrels. There is no areas where Tiny needs to pick up or throw barrels, though. Animations do exist, but they were not implemented due to not being needed. Trough and Scoff check marks. Trough and Scoffs are the guards for the ball stores in every level except the last one on Hideout Helm. This was a mode that was going to allow you to play bosses you had defeated again through the extra area in the menu, but it was replaced with the mystery mode later in development. Krusha in DK64 Adventure Mode. The character Krusha first appeared in the game Donkey Kong Country on the SNES, but in DK64 he appears after collecting 15 banana fairies. He can play similar to Chunky Kong and has an orange grenade launcher as a weapon. He is still accessible in the 4-player version of the game.
So, we gonna go back to my place on the Koopa Banana, or what?
I made plans.
With him?
Hi, Donkey Kong.
Happy birthday, Candy!
You can't be serious.
I try to do nice things, but
I brought you these! Ooh, I was gonna get you a cake, but I see you already got one.
Donkey Kong? Every single time you show up, things just fall apart. Both of you are just a couple of pains in the butt.
Yikes! Ouch!
You're out.
The Beaver Brother Pit. Keys 3 and 8 are the only necessary keys. Within the game, there are 8 boss keys that you can collect. However, due to the coding of the game, the only keys you need are the 3rd one and the 8th one. Keys 3 and 8 spawn Crocodile Isle, which is the last boss fight of the game. So by using glitches and get the 2 keys early, you can beat the game very quickly. And I mean very quickly. Negative emotional aura. I'm assuming this is referring to the creepy vibes some of the levels in this game give off, like especially inside the temple in Angry Aztec, when you have to escape with a timer and it screams "get out" at you. Or all of Creepy Castle. I mean, hell, it's in the name Creepy Castle. Nintendo/Rareware door skip. In the final area of the game, Hideout Helm, there is a door that can be skipped by using Diddy to clip under the floor and walk past the door. This saves time and effort with this final level, especially with the timer implemented. Uncollectible banana medals. In the US build of the game, if you do not collect all banana medals before shutting off the machine in Hideout Helm called the Blast-O-Matic, these banana medals will disappear. Through a variety of glitches, you can re-access them after doing this, but this was patched in the PAL and Japanese versions of the game. The DK64 Player's Guide. This is another one of those entries where I really couldn't find anything. Maybe this is referring to the map of the Crystal Caves that you can find in the cabins in Crystal Caves, but not sure. If anybody has any guesses, please put them in the comments. Anti-Piracy Measures. This entry explaining a program within the game that if a certain chip is not detected, the save data will randomly delete. Most ROMs of this game and emulators of this game have this patch built in now to keep this from occurring. However, it's still an interesting mechanic that they thought of back then. Odd geometry. This is a very broad entry. DK64 has a bunch of shapes in it, from the buildings, enemies, and even the Kongs you play as. One thing I found was the mermaid room. There's a blue texture that is unable to be seen. Maybe that's what this is talking about. But yeah, this game does have an eerie vibe to it if you start looking back at it. Second ending trigger. This is speaking of an alternate ending that you can access if you collect all of the collectibles in this game and get 101%. This kind of shows a blooper reel with Cranky recording on a camera and all the Kongs being goofy near a white background. I guess this is your reward for all that backtracking you must do to get 101% in this game. Percent anomalies. This is a glitch that can occur when you get close to 101% in the game. If the file has 201 gold bananas, 0.4 is subtracted from that calculated total. With a completed file, this would bring the percentage from 100.4% down to 100%. If you have exactly 100% and then collect the Rareware golden banana, it adds 1% back to the file. The display number on the N64 is an 8-bit signed integer, which means it covers from whole numbers from -128 to 127. If you get more than 127% by using the duplicating golden bananas glitch, it will warp the total down to -128 and continue to count up. All this information came from the DK64.fandom.com website, so thank you for the information. The Haunted Catacombs. Creepy Castle Pillar. Another cut piece of content in the game. In the level Creepy Castle, play as Tiny and use the banana port located in the ballroom. Turn around and go through the banana port hidden behind the small castle-like barn located near a banana ferry. After transporting again, you will be right in front of a short stone pillar with a purple banana balloon circling it. This room could not have originally been set up just for this balloon. Everybody believes this is a cut content piece that would sit on the pillar. Again, more content in the game that has been cut. B-Locker D-Pad Cheat. This is a cheat within the game that you can enter any level early besides Jungle Japes. In front of each door, there is guards called B-Lockers that block the entrance to each level. On the D-pad, press up, down, left, right. Then homing weapon sound will play, and the gold banana requirements to enter the stage displayed by the B-Locker will be lowered. The E3 room. Again, couldn't find a lot on this entry. Maybe it's referring to the demo version of the game that was found at E3. Also, here's a screenshot from E3 1999 showing a Donkey Kong 64 setup, and it's not Nightmare Fuel at all. Jungle Jape's invisible film. In the first level, Jungle Jape's, there are 3 invisible film rolls next to Snide's HQ building. It was supposed to be removed from the game, but the sprites were the only thing removed. The hitboxes weren't. So after getting the Banana Fairy camera, you can go back and actually collect these. King Cutouts, 4th phase. In the final boss of the world, Creepy Castle, there's a giant cardboard cutout of King K. Rool, and there are 3 phases of this boss fight. However, there was going to be a phase 4 that was later scrapped. This is good because on each phase you must hit the cutout 3 times to get to the next phase. I don't understand why you have to hit this boss 9 times to beat it. Why is this boss so long? It's a kid's game. Moon Picture and Hideout Helm. Again, according to the Iceberg, there is a photo of a moon that exists inside Hideout Helm. No one knows, to this day, if there's any significance to this photo. Single ammo pickups. This entry is referring to an unused ammo replenish mechanic that can still be added back into the game. According to Small Mario Findings by Super Mario Broth, the game also contained this unused single ammo pickup type. Whether singular coconuts, peanuts, feathers, grapes, and pineapples would have been placed in the levels as collectibles. This would have split up the Kong's ammo counters into 5 separate totals, and required every Kong to walk around the level to pick up its own specific ammo type, which was likely considered to be way too much to deal with by the developers. Gloomy Galleon's shipwreck contents are pristine. Within the level Gloomy Galleon, you can find a shipwreck underwater. The shipwreck at this point is worn away and rotted. However, the contents inside of the shipwreck when you go inside of it are in perfect condition. People wonder, was this added after the shipwreck? Did King K. Rool hide this treasure here? Who knows? So side note here, a lot of the next 2 layers are just theories or things I could find very little to no information on. So just to indicate that, I'll put this red banana here up in the top corner. And yeah, enjoy the last 2 layers. The Void. Dixie Kong and DK64. From the Game FAQs forum, SN_Ninja asks why they never use Dixie Kong instead of Tiny Kong, seeing that they share the same hair flying ability. Nobody really can answer this. Maybe they just wanted to go a different direction. Or maybe none of this is real. Squawk's Hidden Hint Trigger. Another set of cut content from DK64. This refers to an obscure hint function that was intended to help players who fail to make progress at any specific level. However, the requirements to activate this are absurd, such as pausing the game 1,501 times in a row or crouching for 4 hours straight. Kong Exit Doors. Originally in the game, each Kong was presumed to have their own exit doors in each level. There are many spots in the levels where people say the old exits were going to be. They were scrapped, however, and replaced with the Wrinkly Kong Ghost Doors. Tiny's Depression. I'm not sure on this one at all, but Tiny has to be the weakest of all the Kongs as far as movesets. The Blastomatic destroys save data. For a while, there was a rumor that if you did not shut down the Blastomatic in time on the final level, it would set off the weapon, and the weapon would delete the save data that you were using. However, this was definitely proven to be untrue when you just have to restart Hideout Helm instead of your save data being deleted. The Big Sawmill in the Sky. This is talking about a line said by the B-Locker that stands in front of the levels in the game. The first and only time that he alludes to King K. Rool, he refers to him as Fat Old Fool, and he says that he only obeys him because he said the alternative is the Big Sawmill in the Sky. Donkey Kong is locked at the start. Well, this is just talking about if you do not trigger the green switch at the end of the tutorial, you will technically not unlock Donkey Kong. But obviously, there are ways to get around this and still play the game. Debug POS. Again, from tcrf.net, in the cheats section, there is another unused item called the Debug POS. Unfortunately, turning it on doesn't seem to do anything. Additionally, by pressing C up or C down in the options menu, the game toggles the option behind the scenes but does not make the option accessible. The internal plexus. Modes 4 and 8. In DK64, there are 14 modes that are accessible. Again, this game has a lot of modes to choose from. However, modes 4 and 8 are unknown modes. And on all of the forums that I checked, it says that modes 4 and 8 are still unknown. Maybe it was some kind of time attack level or a boss level? Who knows? The entire Mario franchise is inside Creepy Castle. Mario, the face of all Nintendo games and consoles, and I am assuming this is referring to how the pictures in Mario 64 work very similar to the warp doors in Donkey Kong 64. Maybe they take place in the same universe at different times. I mean, look at Creepy Castle. Is this Princess Peach's castle? Is this some Planet of the Apes shit? Probably not. The US version of the game is intentionally broken. Well, maybe it is. There are a lot more glitches and exploits in this version of the game compared to the Japanese version and PAL versions. But this made the game more entertaining to play in my opinion, so the more broken the better. 1995-07-29 is a cover-up. This is referring to Super Mario's urban legend that each copy of the game may be a little different depending on what cartridge you play. Maybe this is extended to DK64 as well? Again, I have no idea. How do banana porters really work? Banana porters are objects in Donkey Kong 64 that allow easy travel in various areas. It is a large banana with a zipper. Banana port pads come in numbers 1 through 5 and they have one that matches them somewhere else on the map that you can activate and you can instantly teleport between the areas. But the real question is, how does this work? Is it magic? Or is it through very deep scientific means that Cranky Kong figured out and hasn't told anyone? King K. Rool's government is a cover-up for Xi Jinping's regime. Yeah, I don't know either. I couldn't find anything at all on this, so I'm just gonna skip this one. I'm sorry. DK64 is a life-changing experience. Maybe this is referring to the video online talking about how great DK64 was at the time. And honestly, this game was a life-changing experience. This game is what got me into video games at all. The wacky enemies, the vibrant colors, the cool abilities, the goofy-looking Kongs. They were all so fascinating to me, and still in some ways are. Now I know that this game is a broken collectathon piece of shit, you don't have to tell me. But it's got a lot of fun moments and game mechanics that are worth dealing with, on how bad the game design can be. All in all, DK64 was made at a very interesting and experimental time in gaming. Rareware did a great job capturing the wacky jungle vibes and looks, and especially in the music that you've been hearing throughout the video. If you have never played this game before, you should give it a shot. Maybe they'll remaster it for the Switch like they've done with so many other classic games from this era. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed my first video, consider subscribing and giving it a like. Like I said, this is my first attempt, so any little bit of interaction helps. I hope you have a good day, and I will see you next time.